Peace, love, and light, fam. You are now tuned into Spiritual Shenanigans with Coco, Kit, and Bruja, and this is a bonus episode. I owed y'all an episode for last week, and to be honest, I realized it was definitely for a reason. For one, y'all came at me about not having this episode this week. I'm sorry, all right? I'm sorry. I told y'all at the beginning of the season that I'm going to do my best to make sure these episodes are weekly. However, I am human. So you guys are going to give me the grace that I need if there is a week where there's no episode. And normally I have an outline of what I want to talk about when it's time to record. And for the life of me last week, I had nothing. I had no idea what I wanted to talk about. Everything was just like, whatever. And when I don't feel right about an episode, I won't record it. Like, I felt bad, but I knew it was the right thing to do, because the moment you try to force something, it never works out the way that you want it to. And it doesn't come across genuine. And I never want to feel disingenuous with you guys at all. So I pulled back and I just decided not to have an episode last week. So, I put it in the back of my mind and figured, something would come to me, whatever. If it did, it did. If not, I'll just figure something out, right? Had a lot going on last week. Had my anniversary, launching my coaching class and workbook, and most importantly, because priorities, I dyed my hair last week. For years, I wanted to dye my hair pink. And every time I talked about it with people, I was always met with projections, right? No, you don't want to ruin your hair, even though my hair is always in braids or a wig. You're too old for pink hair. That's not going to look good on you, blah, 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 blah. And as an aside, I've learned that it's best not to talk to people about your ideas until you've already gotten the ball rolling. Because if you talk to people about what you want to do too soon, it is very easy for their projections and their doubts and their fears to now seep into what you want to do. It's very easy to lose sight of what you want when you start asking for other people to validate your idea. But the thing about it, going back to my hair, all those years ago, I allowed those projections to keep me from doing it, right? And I'm talking like 10 plus years. Like, this has been a long, like, even when I was a kid, I wanted pink hair. That was always me. And it's something so small as dyeing my hair became, in a sense, like caging myself, right? And giving away the key. And it's in that moment a ripple happens, right? I allowed those projections to make me feel like my own feelings didn't matter because of what society told me. So then I doubted myself. And then I started to look back, and look at other people with pink hair, wishing I had the courage, the confidence, the whatever to do it too. Now I'm comparing myself, right? And for years, like, I'd buy pink, like a pink wig here and there, and wish it was my own hair color. And like, I wouldn't call it an obsession, but it was always something in the back of my mind, trapped behind the opinions of other people, right? That what I want wouldn't have been good enough for other people to accept. So fast forward to now, and I'm taking classes on how to learn how to take time to work on myself spiritually and emotionally, healing from everything that I've gone through and all of that fun stuff, which it's not fun. And it was then when I realized that the need for validation, for praise, for approval, all of that has to come from me before I look for it in other people. If I need to look for it at all, which, let me tell you, 99% of the time when you need validation and you need acceptance and you need approval, you need it from you and you don't need it from anybody else, right? Like, when I got to that point, like, I reached a new level of unstoppable. And it's when you reach that level of unstoppable where you are literally on some who gonna check me, boo? Like who's gonna check me, right? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not have a formal 9 to 5. So who gonna check me about having this pink hair, right? But I want to talk about that ripple. How something so small can affect so much when you allow it. Now, the ripple can work for you or against you, but it all depends on how you start and where you want to go, right? So in the instance with my hair, I started with allowing other people's projections to box me in, right? That was the start of the ripple. Then I needed the validation. Then I started to compare myself to other people and all of these different things, and it created this ripple of negativity. Well, I won't even say negativity, but it created this ripple of this mindset that works in opposite of what I want. This was my choice and this was my fault, right? Because, and the reason why I say it's my fault is because I could have started with a different type of ripple. A ripple where I decide to dye my hair any damn way and take the road less traveled, right? Doing it for me and not for others. What does that do? That boosts my confidence. That puts more faith in myself. I start to step outside of my comfort zone. You see where I'm going? Something small will create the ripple. What type of ripple do you want? Do you want a ripple where you're spiraling and you are finding yourself digging deeper and deeper into despair, into lack, into fear, into doubt? Or do you want to create a ripple that is empowering, a ripple that pushes you forward and has you step outside of what you know into greater, bigger, and better shit? If you're going to start ripples, start off the right way. Like, I recently had a conversation with somebody, like somebody you'll hear from soon. And she told me something that, resonates with her, and it's God favors the bold. Now, God, Spirit, Allah, it doesn't matter who you have your subscription with. It's true. It's when you put faith in yourself and step outside of your comfort zone, outside of societal norms, and outside of conditioning that you truly step into yourself, right? You step into a new reality meant for you. Now, at the end of the day, I look damn good with this pink hair. You hear me? Your girl is popping over here. And that's on Miss Muffet. And it feels so liberating to go through this transformation, this transition, right? And the funny thing about it, and now that I'm saying this, it's like clicking. Dragonfly energy has been around me a lot lately since about last month. And as I recall from Madam Google, a dragonfly is a symbol of change, right? It's a symbol of transformation and self-realization. And I had to commit that to memory because it's the self-realization part that gets me. It's because that is exactly what I've been doing, coming to all these realizations of myself and who I am, who I want to be, and who I want to present to the world, which is all the same person. But the dragonfly teaches us how to be joyful and to love life. Even when shit's all fucked up, there's always something to find and grasp onto, right? There's always a positive way to create good ripples. I felt that shit. I felt it. As the bleach was turning my hair, as the color was being put in, I felt myself transition. I felt the shift. An ever constant transition and elevation is basically what I strive for. And this past week has been a testament to that. Absolutely. So honestly, I'm glad I left y'all hanging last week. Like, I feel like anything that I would have tried to push and just throw out there for you guys, it wouldn't have hit as hard as what I'm talking about right now, because this is something so personal to me that it made sense for me to make a podcast episode about it. And to quote somebody else that is also phenomenal, that I'm lucky to know, your testimony is your intellectual property, right? So last week was definitely a testimony for me, and I wanted to present that to you guys because I feel like it was such an experience. Something so small as dyeing my hair was really a testament to transformation. And that's me handling my spiritual business. Because in that moment, I felt the elevation happening, and now I can open myself up to more messages, more understandings, and it's not just for y'all, but it's for me too, right? And I'm excited as fuck about that. Now, before we get into this week's reading, I'm gonna shift gears here, and I have so many things going on that I felt like I wanted to take a moment to really kind of talk about that. I just want to make sure you guys know about all of these really dope things. So if you've been following me on social media, you've seen my launch of my new workbook and course called The Cocoon Effect. It's 4 modules, 4 months. And we go over shadow work, chakra healing, self-love, and most importantly, sovereignty. It is one of the most important things that I've ever worked on, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm proud of myself too. And I'm very happy to be able to bring it to you guys. There is a group starting in April. For those who are interested, please, please, please DM me across all social media at Coco Kitten Bruja, or you can go to cocokittenbruja.com and click on the courses tab. I am also running a special on my money readings, so holler at me about that as well. It is a money therapy reading that really taps into your relationship with money, what you're aligned to, and how we can get you on the right track to align to actual prosperity. Speaking of money, if you guys didn't know, I actually do a weekly segment on YouTube called Money Mondays, where I pull cards about collective financial energy. And let me tell you, it is snatching edges and changing lives, child. I done got cursed out so many times about these readings. Y'all may want to go ahead and tap on in. And there's tons more on the way that I can't talk about right now. But y'all will see some more drop next month, and I need everybody to get hyped for me, tune in, and start following me across social media because it's about to get real lit. So now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pay this bill, and we'll be right back with the reading.
So, if you're like me and you're just starting out on your podcast, or you're looking for a different platform for your podcast, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And just let me go over a couple of points for you. It's free, that's the main thing. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, because I keep my phone on me everywhere, so it's super convenient for me. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, like pretty much everywhere. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make your podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right. Now that that's out of the way, we are going to go ahead and start slanging some cards. Now, this is a collective reading. This is going to be as general as possible. Y'all know how it goes. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. And of course, if you DM me with a card that has been pulled from this episode or any previous episode, I throw your name in a hat for a free reading. And you have to mention which episode you heard it from. Now, I'm going to start off with Next World Tarot by Christy C. Rode. You can definitely check out the review of these decks on my YouTube. So now with that being said, let's get it popping. These cards are big as hell, y'all. And my hands are not big enough. I'm struggling over here. Okay. Okay, let's see what's cracking. So we have the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. A lot of court cards going on. There's a lot of... I feel like somebody's having some family issues. Yeah, the bottom of the deck is the Six of Swords. So you guys are in transition. There's some folks who's trying to move out of their parents' house. But it's almost as if you're not really making the steps you need to make in order to do it. This Hermit energy feels very much like escapism, almost like this isolation that is almost self-imposed. And it may not be you're trying to leave your parents' house. It may just be trying to break away from this energy. It's like a group of people. This energy is not, it's not what you want, and you want to leave, but you're not necessarily doing what needs to be done in order to do it. Some of y'all are out here in a whole love triangle, where one person is feeding you spiritually while the other person is providing more of a physical satisfaction. And you'd rather just not deal with it at all, so you're just kind of hiding out and escaping from it. This Six of Swords is telling me that everybody's about to start going through some transitioning. There's about to be a lot of shifts on the horizon for people, and it's almost like you won't be able to have a choice very soon here. Some of you are lowballing yourself, where you're settling for this Knight of Cups, where you, and I'm by saying the Knight of Cups, I mean the energy. Like there may be business opportunities or even job promotions where you're too scared to go. You're too scared to go for the higher position, so you're gonna take the lower of the two, right? I feel like you're lowballing yourself. And for those who don't know, I deal with pulling cards intuitively. So based on what I'm looking at here, some of you guys are lowballing yourselves as well. I see a lot of solar plexus energy. I will definitely say that is always going to be your deciding factor. The moment you start tapping into your inner power, your inner knowing, honing on that solar plexus energy, you might be able to make a better decision between these two choices. Some of you it's going to be when it comes to love, some of you it's going to be when it comes to work. But for those of you who are trying to move out of your parents' house, it's time to put the phone down and it's time to start making action. I feel like, just based on the pictures that I'm looking at here, you can't get your footing because you're so busy doing other things, right? I'm hearing just so many different messages based on these cards. The love thing is coming out strong. It's a whole lot of y'all in entanglements out here. And it's time to start making some decisions before the decision is made for you. One section of you guys really need to start speaking up and using that throat chakra, where the rest of you need to definitely tap into your solar plexus and find the inner knowing, tapping into your own strength to say, you know what, I don't want this shit anymore. I want better for myself. And this transition card, there's just a sense of peace, of joy, knowing that you're moving on, you're moving forward. But you can't do that when you're stuck in being complacent and being non-committal, and just going for straight escapism. You don't want to deal with it, and you'll just hope it goes away. It'll disappear if I'm not thinking about it. That is most definitely not the case. Sooner or later, you're gonna find that your choice is taken away from you, and you're not gonna like that. I'm going to keep pulling. I'm going to now use the Wisdom of the Oracle. This might actually be a longer reading. I feel like there's a lot going on here, and it's still coming to me. Yeah, this Knight of Cups. It's almost like I get fuckboy energy from this Knight of the Cups. Like he's not really coming with nothing of value. Like I feel like, not to be crass, but I feel like you guys are choosing dick over your feelings right now. And if you're gonna go straight for dick, don't make a relationship out of good dick. Or, a fat ass. Don't make a relationship out of good sex. Because that's all it's supposed to be, is good sex. Now, if you're trying to choose between good sex and somebody that actually just treats you right, I don't know. You may want to think about that. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with good sex and no substance, Yeah. I definitely feel like it's time for you to make a decision. I feel like I'm talking to somebody very specific right now, but at the same time, some of y'all, it's going to be a few of y'all hit with that one. Stop choosing good sex over somebody who want to treat you right. I hope y'all being honest when it comes to these entanglements y'all in. Because that might be where your choice is made for you. If one person find out about the other and you're not being honest, you going to get transitioned for real. Okay. I wish I can show you guys this Hermit card, because she's sitting in this dark room. There's nothing in it but electronics and things for escapism on the floor. She's barefoot sitting on a stool. Like, this is self-isolation. This is self-imposed. This is just escapism, The world is going on outside of this window, and she wants no part of it. She's just isolating herself in this room. And I don't want that to be you guys. The only way being a hermit works is if you're doing it for introspection, right? You're doing it to get a better understanding of yourself. But don't do it to escape your problems, because that never works. All right, so let's tap into the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Vernon. And again, these reviews are on the YouTube channel. Okay. So we have come to the edge, a leg up, and exchanging gifts. So the bottom of the deck being co-create. I feel like this kind of speaks to those of you in these entanglements. Where can you actually co-create? Which one of these options do you find yourself being able to co-create with and actually push the needle forward? Who out of your options do you feel like would work for your highest good? Not for your libido, for your highest good. Because this come to the edge card is making me feel like you've been doing this for, I don't want to say so long, but you've been doing this for just enough time to things to really start to come to a head where it's time to shit or get off the pot, right? This leg up card, I feel like this is a nod to that solar plexus thing that I was mentioning earlier. It's knowing what you need to do before the situation comes to a head. A leg up, I feel like that's about being proactive, going ahead and doing what needs to be done before you get to the point where you're forced to do it, right? Now, when it comes to exchanging gifts, I feel like that ties into the co-create card. Like, where do you find yourself having that equal exchange of just good energy? Where do you find yourself the happiest outside of sex? Because I feel like I gotta drive that home. I feel like there's gonna be some of you guys who are listening who really need to understand that good sex doesn't always bring happiness. And I want to say, as somebody who absolutely loves sex, it is not the only thing that needs to be considered for wholeness of self. And I know I probably lost a couple of y'all on that one, but yes, sex feeds one need, but where are you getting fed everywhere else? And I'm only bringing this up because if you have more than one option, then maybe you should think about which option is the best for you. Now, if you're poly, then it is what it is. But I would definitely pay attention to whoever has that fuckboy energy, because they don't really mean much of anything. Like, if you guys could see this card, this Knight of Cups is holding a cup of water, but it has a crab in it. Like, yeah, some fuckboy stuff. I definitely feel like when it comes to those of you who are trying to move out of your parents' house, it's time to get your ass up, get that leg up and get moving, right? Find ways to co-create with somebody. As far as if this is an issue with money, find different ways to get what you need, get the resources you need. And then of course, coming to the edge, you're at the point where transition is necessary. This the Six of Swords energy is coming in very strong, because there's about to be another shift as we move into the spring equinox, as we start moving into the astrological new year. It is time for transitions. It is time for new beginnings. And a lot of you guys who are sitting in this hermit energy, trying to avoid things, procrastinating on doing things, Spirit is going to shift everybody's shit, and a transition is going to be forced. You don't want to turn the Six of Swords energy into a tower situation, right? So I definitely recommend you guys really just getting up and doing the thing, right? Get out of this hermit energy and figure out which person you're going to stay with. Now, to wrap this up, I'm actually going to pull from the Angel Answers deck. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I want you guys to think of a question. Think of a question. Thankfully, I can't hear it because you're listening to me talk. So, you can say it out loud if you want to. I can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. But think about a question. And matter of fact, think of 3 questions. And I'm going to pull 3 cards and see what answers we get. So, think of 3 questions. And if I'm right, you gotta tell me I'm right. That's the deal. Okay. Again, general reading. Now that you have your 3 questions, I'm going to shuffle one more time and see what these 3 answers are. All right. So, for the very first question, the answer is helpful people. So, finding somebody either with the skill set you're looking to acquire or finding somebody with the skill set to help you elevate. This is going to be what helps you. And I feel like for some of you, they're on their way or they're already in front of you. It's a matter of you stepping up and actually saying that you need help and being open to receive help and having trust in people. I feel like some of you have trust issues, so it's hard for you to ask for help. But that's exactly what you need in this particular situation with your first question. Now, second question. Communicate clearly. With your second question, I feel like you'll gain more clarity and have a better outlook on the situation and even a better answer if you flex that throat chakra and communicate clearly on what it is you want, what it is you need, and what your expected outcome. Even if that means talking to yourself, it's time to get real about what it is you want when it comes to this situation and be clear, be specific. Like, don't ask for abundance, but don't say an abundance of what, because then you gonna mess around and get abundance of animal crackers. Like, you have to be specific, right? Now for this last question, don't stop. So, whatever this last question is, Spirit is saying, keep doing what you're doing. Keep focusing on the goal ahead. Don't worry about what anybody's telling you to do. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Just don't stop. Keep going forward. Keep it pushing, right? Bottom of the deck. If your question was something that dealt with time, the bottom of the deck says within the next few months. So, within the next few months, whatever your timed question is, that is your answer. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Is that cool? Do you guys want me to keep doing the angel answer questions when it comes to these readings? Let me know. That's all I have for this week. You guys got 2 episodes this week, and I'm still going to be back next week with the fun. Next week is Tipsy Tarot Tuesday, so you know it's about to get cracking. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. Again, always, I'm available across all social media at Coco Kitten Bruja. And definitely hit me up for this month's money reading special. And go buy my book, because we lit. All right? I'm wishing you guys tons of love and light. And until next time, peace.